Wine's story begins in the Neolithic period, where archaeological evidence places early wine production in the South Caucasus region, modern-day Georgia, Armenia, and Iran. Clay jars from around 6000 BCE with chemical traces of wine suggest humans had already begun fermenting grapes. The earliest winery, discovered in the Armenia 1 cave in Armenia, dates back to around 4100 BCE. Grapes were likely domesticated from wild vines in this region. In Egypt, wine became a ritual drink, used in religious ceremonies and often reserved for the elite. In Mesopotamia, beer was more common, but wine held a certain prestige. Egyptians stored wine in amphorae, labeled with vintage and origin, marking the beginning of early wine labeling. Wine began to spread via trade routes to the Levant, Anatolia, and beyond. The Greeks elevated wine into mythology, with Dionysus, the god of wine, embodying its importance. They spread viticulture across the Mediterranean. The Romans, however, industrialized wine, developing new winemaking techniques such as aging in wooden barrels and racking. They introduced wine to France, Spain, Germany, and the British Isles, and created the first wine classifications based on vineyard location. After the fall of Rome, the Catholic monasteries preserved and advanced winemaking. Monks in Burgundy and Champagne refined wine styles and terroir-based cultivation. Wine was integral to Christian rituals, such as communion, preserving its religious and social value. Arab rule in some regions temporarily halted wine production, though grape cultivation continued for raisins and vinegar. With improved trade and exploration during the Renaissance, wine began to globalize. Port, sherry, and Madeira were fortified for long sea voyages, and the Bordeaux wine trade flourished, especially with England. The invention of the glass bottle and cork in the 17th century allowed for aging wine. Wine spread globally as Spanish missionaries planted vines in the Americas, starting in Mexico and California, with vineyards emerging in Chile, Argentina, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. But disaster struck in the mid-1800s when phylloxera, a vine-killing aphid from North America, devastated European vineyards. The solution was grafting European vines onto American rootstock, saving global viticulture. After 2 world wars and prohibition in the USA, wine rebounded in the 20th century. The 1976 Judgment of Paris put California wines on the global map, and wine became more democratic, no longer just for the elite. We saw the rise of natural wines, organic farming, and global wine tourism. Today, wine is produced in over 70 countries, blending ancient tradition with cutting-edge science.